McDonald's is closed. What are we going to do? Well, it's all right. We're learning to cook here in the rectory. There are other options to McDonald's. But you know, there was one time when Jesus walked this earth 2,000 years ago, and the people came to him, a huge crowd came to him, and they didn't have any food, and there was no McDonald's. And we're going to find out now what he did with a little bit of help from some Lego reenactment. Jesus crossed over to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. A large crowd of people followed him. They'd seen the signs he'd done by healing sick people. Then Jesus went up on a mountainside. There he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. Jesus looked up and saw a large crowd coming towards him. So he said to Philip, "Where can we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this only to test Philip. He already knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "Suppose we were able to buy enough bread for each person to have just a bite. That would take more than half a year's pay." Another of his disciples spoke up. It was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He said, "Here is a boy with 5 small loaves of barley bread. He also has 2 small fish. But how far will that go in such a large crowd?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Then Jesus took the loaves and gave thanks. He handed out the bread to those who were seated. He gave them as much as they wanted, and he did the same with the fish. When all of them had eaten enough, Jesus spoke to his disciples. "Gather the leftover pieces," he said. "Don't waste anything." So they gathered what was left over from the 5 barley loaves. They filled 12 baskets with the pieces left by those who had eaten. The people saw the sign that Jesus did. Then they began to say, "This must be the prophet who is supposed to come into the world." Well, isn't that absolutely amazing? Jesus fed 5,000 men plus women and children with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. How could he do that? Was he some sort of magician that did some tricks? The people thought he was the prophet that had come into the world. Well, he was more than a prophet. It was because he was God himself that he could do this, that he could provide for the people's needs. And John, the writer of the Gospel, wants us to know that this sign was done to show that Jesus was the Christ, God's King, who'd come into this world to give life. Jesus himself said that he is the bread of life, and without him we can't really have life. And so he is the most important person that we can know at this time. Children, the next challenge for you is to make your own reenactment of the scene. Maybe draw a picture or use Lego or something to make your own reenactment of this wonderful true story from the Bible, and post it to us. I should announce the winner from the last competition was Lucy. So well done to Lucy. There's a prize on its way to you. There'll be a prize for the winner of this competition as well. And we look forward to seeing your entries soon. Thank you.